Hello, strong people. It is week 6, day 4 of Northeast Regionals Battle at the Bridge. Battle at the Bridge Prep. It's kind of tough to say. Event day, the usual thing for 4th day of the week, and our last big event day. So, treating today like a competition. Not like I don't treat the other event days like a competition, but whenever it's competition I'm doing 3 events today. So, sandbag toss, the yoke frame, and then the sandbag to shoulder medley. So I'm basically doing the back half of the show all today, recreating it, and it's going to be fun. I love comp days like this. I'd like to get out the actual apparatus we're going to be thrown over, because they have it there, but it takes a few people to set up and use, and it's kind of a pain. So I don't know. We'll see. If not, we'll throw against a building there to kind of try to gauge how high we're throwing. I'm excited to, after throwing on Wednesday and seeing how good that felt with that kind of delayed hop back. You won't know what I mean. I don't know how to describe it probably, but before I was hopping back like as soon as the bag started drifting backwards. But what I did on Wednesday, I did it accidentally at first, and then started doing it on purpose because it felt good. I was waiting until I was like almost done with the backswing before I hopped back, and then I'd hop back and explode through. And I felt like I was getting way more height, way more like flicking off my fingers, if you will. And I think that means you're kind of doing it right. So I don't know for sure, but it felt good, and I hope I can try it again today, because last Saturday did not go so well. It was raining and I couldn't do it, and I had to come back home after the full session, after the hour drive back, and then do it again and do some toss at home, which not ideal. After a full event session, you don't want to have an hour rest in between different events there. So not ideal, but we made it work. A little bit of work is better than no work. So sometimes, I guess, if you're really close to game day, you don't really want to do much of anything. So either way. And then yoke frame, this will be my first time, I think, going up to comp weight on both of those at the same time this prep, which is kind of how it should be. The yoke is lighter compared to what I've been doing, at least for the Pro-Am. And then the frame, last year I did this frame. Last year was a 50-foot down and back with only the frame, and it was 720 pounds. And I did that in, it was either 16 or 18 seconds. It was third fastest. The only 2 guys that beat me, they're both, the guy who won the show was one of the guys who beat me on the frame, and he placed like 5th at OSG last year, so he's legit. Very legit. Done well at the Shot Classic and stuff, so he's a big-time competitor. So is the other guy. OSG qualifier, tore his bicep leading into it, so didn't get to do it last year, but I know he would have done well. So he's still coming back from that, but those are the only 2 people last year that beat me on the frame. So the frame should be okay. Just got to be fast transition-wise. That sprint in between dropping off the yoke and picking up the frame, I need to move it. In all my videos, when I'm doing it in training, it feels fast. And I watch the video back, and I'm like, why am I jogging? Like, I know I can move faster than that. So I need to actually do it. It does. It looks like I'm jogging in the training videos. I'm like, what am I doing? So I need to sprint into the frame. I don't need to slow down before the frame. I need to sprint into the frame, set, and go. And I do like that we're going to be set up inside the yoke. What the promoter of the show, Josh, usually does is you have to go outside of the yoke, stand like 5 feet back, run into the yoke and then pick it and go. Ugh. And I messed that up 2 years ago, the first battle at the bridge. Stupid of me, but you can make mistakes like that, and it can cost you big points, and it did, because I ended up missing podium that show by 1 point. And I would have podiumed had I done better on that yoke, I think. I don't know exactly the scores, but I mean, I lost like 3 or 4 seconds on that. Stupid, all my fault. And then sandbag to shoulder today. I'm going to treat, obviously I'm treating all this like game time scenario, but what I want to be sure of today doing this, I want the minute timer going, and it's not going to be perfect because we don't have the 325 bag yet that I know of, so it's either going to be 300 or 350, and I'm not quite sure what I want to do yet. What I might do is just rep out the 300. Yeah, I don't know. It's going to depend what bag Josh is going to be putting the 325 in. If he's putting the 325 in a 350 bag, I'm probably going to do the 350 bag. But if he's putting the 325 in a 300-pound bag, I think I'm going to use the 300 bag. Reason being, 350 is a little bit floppy. If you put 325 in a 350 bag, there's 25 pounds left you can fill in there, so it's going to be a little bit floppy. And a floppy bag can be kind of tough to use, which, I don't know. I mean, if it's crazy floppy, yeah, it's a big deal. But if it's got a little bit of flop to it, it's not the end of the world. So I'm unsure. I think he's using a 300-pound bag and using some, and maybe, I don't know. I think he said before, I don't remember. I want to do the 350 bag at the end of the medley just to say I, did the 350 at the end of a medley and then hopefully got an extra rep. But the big thing I want to do is do that, because at this show, there's a rule, I believe it's on all events, even though there's only 2 events that really apply to it, that it would apply to. As time expires, if you have that implement off the ground, you can finish that rep. So, like, if I'm cleaning the log, so, like, it's a minute timer. So, say at 57 seconds, or say there's, timer's like 5 seconds left, and the log is on the mat. If I pick that log up, and I have it off the mat by the time a minute hits, I can finish that rep on the log. Or try to, So, same thing with the sandbag, I believe. So, if I hear 5 seconds to go, and then that bag is on the floor, I better move it to pick that bag up and get it off the floor right now. And then once I have it up, I can rest it on my lap and hopefully regain some breath, and then kind of muster up the energy to maybe muscle through one more rep. But we'll see. It's the hair on my face. That's all easier said than done, of course, because it's at the end of a medley, it's heavy, all the usual stuff. So, but I'm going to use that rule if I can. I'm also going to double check with Josh on it, and obviously we'll go over at the rules meeting. But I want to practice the way I play. So I'm going to, if that is the rule that is being said, then I'm going to, train it that way today. I might even do it on purpose. Because there's 2 ways to look at this. So say you have 15 seconds left, and you only have 1 rep in the tank, like that even this next rep is going to be a challenge. Wait 10 seconds. Wait till there's 5 seconds left, and then go. Because then you've just bought yourself 10 extra seconds there. And now, once you have it off the ground, it's like the timer is unlimited. You can rest it on your lap as long as you want, technically. So you essentially, by waiting, by not rushing to get that rep in before 60 seconds, you now have unlimited time, all because you have it off the ground as time expires. And I think I like this rule a lot, because you can really employ some strategy here. So you can either rush to get that very last rep, or if you have a possibility of 2 more, so you don't have to rush that last rep if you know for sure you don't have any more in the tank after that one. or you can rush that rep, finish it, and then try to get one more off the ground before time expires. So there's a lot of ways to look at that rule, and I like it. If it works out the way that I think it's supposed to work out. And if people don't pay attention to the rules, then that's, we have a rules meeting, it's in the rules description. If they don't take advantage of that, that's on them. And that happened even at the Rogue Invitational, because this was a rule there. People were all confused about what Mitch Hooper was doing whenever he cleaned the log. Like, he picked the log, sat it on his lap as time expired, and then finished the rep. And I was confused too, because they don't tell you what the rules are before a show happens, at least when you're watching it like that. And I don't know if anybody else took advantage of that rule. I know there were some guys who could probably get another rep or two, but I think he was the only one who actually used that rule that way. Which I'm not surprised by that. He's very smart and knows what he needs to do a lot of the time. But so if I can use that rule to my advantage on the press and on the sandbag to shoulder, I will absolutely do so. So we'll see, though. I mean, it's easier said than done. Obviously, you've done a lot of reps at that point, and you're 60 seconds into this event. How much energy do you really have left? So it's kind of wishful thinking to pick the bag, rest it on your lap for 10, 15 seconds, whatever, and then hope you have enough strength left to finish that last rep. I'm willing to try it because it's going to be a big game of avoiding points, avoiding ties, and getting that one extra rep. I want to avoid ties on the deadlift. Avoiding ties on the press is going to be a big deal, because we can all press that weight for the most part. I don't know everybody, but we can all press that weight. It's just going to be a matter of how fast you go. So, if, say, the top 4 or 5 are all tied, if that's 6 reps and I get a 7th, I just gained so many points on everybody else that I can, kind of bargain with later on. If I need to, ease back, I'm not going to ease back, but, I need to get as many points as I can ahead of people, or just in general, even if I'm not ahead of people. I just need to get as many points as I can in this first 4 events to give myself some sort of cushion on the sandbag toss. And that's even if, I'm in the lead at that point. Who knows? It does matter, but it's out of my control. I'll do what I can, and the other guys will do what they can. And if I happen to be in first at that point, I hope I have a lead, because sandbag toss may be rough. But we'll see. It's clicking recently. Maybe I can hang. Also wishful thinking. I don't know. I talked enough this round, but you can tell my brain's turning because it's competition time. Thinking about what I need to do on what events, and this needs done, that needs done, what if this happens. Another thing I like to try to do is open higher on the deadlift events if possible. There's going to be plenty of big deadlifters there. And if I can open, if a bunch of people open at, say, 780, and there's a hair in my eye, say a lot of people open at 780, and I know for sure I can do 800, I think I'd be better off opening 800. Because then if we end up tying on 840, I now have opened higher. And generally speaking, that gives you more points. That breaks the tie. If you open higher and you stop on the same weight, then you get those points. And I've won plenty of points doing that before. And it's backfired before too. Sort of backfired. I say backfired when I just failed the rep because I was stupid. Last year, Battle at the Bridge. Just fell forward with the axle, made a mistake. That's all it took. So obviously, a lot of play there, a lot of strategy going into that event too. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. All right, I've talked for 14 and a half minutes right now. It's also approaching that time in the prep where I don't want to eat my rice and meat anymore. This morning I was dreading it, and it was not good. None of it. I just did it. Washed almost each bite down with some water. And here we are. And I got to pee again. That's what happens when you get a half gallon of water down in an hour. sometimes I worry that I'm flushing out stuff doing that. But I mean, I have plenty of sodium in my system after my breakfast and after I put one of those hydration packets in my water. Not very good. It's like white grape flavor. Not good. But hopefully it does its job. So, all right. So I'm gonna hopefully record some stuff today because it's big event day. We'll see where we're at, and then I'll check in with you guys after the training session. Today, Junior. It's a good movie. Check it out.
Go! Come on, Gus. Move! Come on! Come on, Gus. Move! Move! Come on! Come on! Get there! Down. Come on, get your arm out there. Down. Down. Jesus.
All right, that is the end of the last real big training session for this prep cycle. It was rough. Not really, but when I say rough, I mean it's just really stupid hot outside, like offensively hot. Started out at bag toss, and that went good. Clearing 50, no problem. We were going to try to, we don't have a bag here that is between 50 and 60. So we will on comp day. Josh has the bags. He just has to fill them. So it was a 50-pound bag, and I was clearing that, no problem. 50, there'll be 52 and a half, 55, and 57 and a half on game day. We were going to put a couple, like a 2.5 plate in or 5-pound plate. And the holes at the top of the bags are just not quite big enough for those plates to fit. I could make it fit, but I don't want to risk tearing the bag or breaking the zipper or anything this close to game day for Josh. That would just be a nightmare. So instead, I just threw it 50 and then gave 60 a few goes. 60 was close. My form was off a little bit on it here and there, but when it clicked, I was able to, I hit the crossbar a couple times. So, I mean, 60 may be doable, a little bit of amped up energy on game day. That's possible. It's also the last event, though, so kind of a trade-off there. But we'll see. I'm happy about it, though. Form felt good, except for a few on 60, but 60, it feels different. It's because it's packed so differently, it feels slightly different, so it's something to get used to. And I think 60 is going to be very good points on game day. Yoke frame, I'm happy with it. I think the frame could have been faster. I didn't watch back the video yet completely, but the frame could have been faster. And I think it could have been faster because my grip held, it was fine, but you got to be a little bit more diligent with your grip on that frame. My grip is not quite strong enough on that frame where I can kind of grip and go, and I did that. I made it the whole 50 feet, but I felt the need to slow down because if I kept going as fast as I was, and your body, you kind of do it just subconsciously. You kind of slow down just because you don't want to bump it out of your hand, knock it loose because it's falling out of your hand. So I need to set my hand a little bit better before I actually, take off, because my left hand was, my left hand was not locked in as well as it could have been. it wasn't quite locked in as well as it should have been. So my own fault. I rushed it. However, 24 seconds, 23, 24. I'll have to watch it back to know for sure. 24 seconds. I'm happy with that. We were kind of saying 18, 19 would win it, but I don't know. I think I could get it down to 22, 21, 18, 19. I don't know about all that. I'm trying to think. 6. It'd be doable. Be tough though. I don't know. I'm not mad about 24. That'll be good points, I think, and hopefully better on game day. You know, a little bit of amped up energy again. And then it kind of went downhill after that, just because it was so hot. I ate a snack after bag toss, and I don't think my stomach liked it that much, but I probably should have had something else again after yoke before sandbag, because I was getting pretty gassed at that point. I had high hopes going into it. I was talking to my buddy, because we're training together, of course, and then competing later together. I'm going to get that 350 bag twice. I was thinking it, honestly, because I think it is doable. After today, the way I felt, even the warm-ups, I was like, oh, God, we might be in trouble. And then, yeah, it pretty much went how I expected it to go after filling the warm-ups out. So, it was a comp run, but we don't have a 325 bag, so I put 350 at the end. Didn't matter. I didn't even get the 300. I got there and I had there was no legs left underneath me. That was a struggle. Mentally, that doesn't really bother me that much, just because right now, this week, I've had the 2 heaviest training days of this cycle. So overall fatigue is pretty high when you're about 3 weeks out. That's why after this week, it's deload time. So next week is still fairly heavy-ish. Not really. More dynamic work. And then after that, there won't be a whole lot of heavy. There won't be heavy anything. It may be like 1 or 2 days of light pressing, maybe light deads. I don't remember. And then after that, the final 3 days before the show are a whole lot of doing nothing besides walking. So I'm not mad about how that felt. I messed up the first bag too. Stupid me. Either way, I was gassed. I tried to hydrate pretty well, drank quite a bit of water, but I don't know. It's like 87 degrees out or something. And that's not an exaggeration, actually. It's like 87. So it's spicy out in the gym. It's hot in the gym too, which I'm okay with. I don't mind that. Not as hot as my shed would be if I had the doors closed. So anything better than that. But I don't have much else to say other than I'm really sweaty, like disgustingly sweaty. Should have brought like a second shirt for sandbags, but oh well. Well, I got nothing else to say. Didn't record the bag toss, which I wish I would have, but there's a lot of us out there and we were just kind of going. So I'm going to finish this drive home, enjoy the AC, get some food. I got to stop and get gas at some point. So I got nothing else to say. I hope you've enjoyed the prep to this point. So I still got more videos coming, but they probably won't be quite as exciting as these heavier event days. So until next time, go out, get strong, stay strong. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.